Hello everyone, this is Korosh Erfani and today is Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Last week I published in the frame of our program's Weekly Talk a video with the title What's Happening in Iran. I explained the protests that are occurring right now in Iran at that time, and these protests continue. And right now we are at the 12th day of this movement, and it's spreading out, right? And the movement is developing itself across the country, and more cities are involved. Now, I would like to explain in this video one point that is crucial, which is where this movement is going to. Right, because that's the crucial point when we know that the movement is getting, I don't know exactly when, but is getting closer and closer to an irreversible point where it's impossible to quell that, to reverse that, to repress that. Nobody can do anything but accepting the reality of, getting ahead effectively for its objective. So let's think about that. In the last video and another video, I explained that in 1979 we had what is called Iranian Revolution or Islamic Revolution. Anyway, the revolution of 1979. So this pseudo revolution had been effectively a kind of coup by the Zionist network inside Iran. I know that this interpretation is very shocking for many people. They don't want to believe that what is presented as an Islamic revolution by the Iranian people had been effectively a very well-designed and well-planned by the Zionists. And when I say Zionist, I mean Israel with its agents in Iran. I told you, if you refer to one of my previous videos, which was entitled Israel wants the Iranian regime to remain in power, I explained in that video that there are a lot of people inside the structure of power in Iran since 1979 who are actually Jewish, who are Zionist, who are Israeli. We call them Anusi or crypto-Jewish. So these are the people who are in the service of Israel and do anything in favor of Israel, and they are like the great Ayatollah, President Ahmadinejad was an Israeli, and a lot of other important figures, political figures over there, working for the sake of Israel and nothing else. So I told you in that video that Iran had been depleted by Israel, actually. Of course, there are others like Turkey, United Kingdom, that benefited effectively from the incompetency of the Iranian regime. But the main transfer of wealth from Iran was toward Israel. So we cannot document that, because we cannot document a lot of depletion like this by Israel across the world, right? They don't act in such a way that you can document this. But by some evidence, we know that this transfer had been toward Israel, and my estimation, my wild estimation, is something between $2 to $3 trillion during this half a century, right, from 1979 till now. So we will see. Once I am not in this world, you have the opportunity to look for the documents and evidence to see if my hypothesis is correct or not. But anyway, the country was depleted by the Israeli and the Israeli agent at the top of the Iranian government. And now there is nothing. It's a complete ruined country where the government is not even able to provide the basic necessities to the Iranian people, right? So that's why the Iranian people started to be very angry, hungry, and of course began to protest. Now, every time there were a social movement in Iran, we saw effectively that Israel is very worried about the outcome of that movement for a lot of one, almost 5-6 big social movement of protest and alike. And each time Israel tried effectively to do something in such a way that this movement failed, right? In a way that the Iranian government can remain in place. Why? Because it was working for Israel. In that video again, I explained the record of the Iranian regime to do whatever was necessary for the creation of greater Israel in the Middle East. Iran was working on that from the starting of its existence, in 1979 till now, by destroying Iraq, destroying Syria, Lebanon, and everything in favor of Israel. So this is a government that Israelis need effectively, right? They want to keep the Iranian regime in power, not for a long time, because they are getting ready to destroy completely the country, Iran. But till that time, they don't want to have any new factor in their dirty, dark equation, which is finding the necessary excuse to bring the United States with themselves and going effectively together to bomb, if necessary, with the nuclear weapons, Iran, and getting it completely wiped out from the map of the world. This is what Israeli wants. So this time is the same thing. There is a social movement, there are a lot of protests, and the people are, as I told you, hungry, angry, and they want to get rid of this Israeli government that is installed in Iran. So now Israel again intervenes in such a way that it can practically stop the movement to go in the right direction, right? So the objective is not really to silence this movement by Israel, but to drive it away from the right direction so that the Iranian people cannot get to something better, right? So how does Israel do that? It's very simple, when you don't want someone to succeed in what they are doing, you have just to create effectively different distraction in such a way that they cannot be focused on what is necessary and to get ahead for their project or for their goal. This is what Israel is doing, and in order to do so, it's counting on someone who is known as the most incompetent person maybe on earth. I'm talking about the Reza Pahlavi, the son of the former Shah of Iran, someone who is now 65 years old without having a record of 1 hour useful work or activity, and he is just there in order to give the impression that something that can be the restitution or reconstruction of the monarchy is possible. That's the only mission that had been assigned to him by some other people, because he doesn't have any understanding of the situation or something alike. So that's why he's a puppet. Is a puppet in the service of everyone. So he offered himself to a lot of countries during these 47 years, to the European, United Kingdom, to a lot of efforts to sell himself to the Americans, but the Americans are not interested at all. Even now, I will show you an interview of President Trump talking about this incompetent person. So at the end of the day, there was only one country that found this moron, if I can name it as such, very good, because the naivety, because of his mercenary character, being completely eager to have money, support, and so on, to play out with him and get to what it wants. So Israel was planning effectively to have this kind of, let's say, public figure with the Iranian, as well as for the Somaliland or other countries. Don't forget that the president of Syria is one of its agents, for example. So for the Iranian case, it's similar. It's alike. So they started from 3 years ago when another social movement, the movement of Mahsa Amini, was going on in Iran and was starting to threat effectively the Iranian regime. They started to invest on Reza Pahlavi, and they used effectively this guy with some other accomplices in order to thwart completely the movement of Mahsa. And you saw that the movement failed completely because of the efforts of Reza Pahlavi with the direction and management of the Mossad Israeli, and at the head of the team of Mossad, Parviz Saveti, who was the agent of Israel within the security organization, the National Security Organization or agency of the regime of Shah. Can you imagine? Parviz Saveti. Now, let's say that once Reza Pahlavi showed effectively that he can be an excellent agent for sabotage, anything positive, anything functional for the Iranian people, he was somehow hired. I am talking about the literal meaning of the term. He was hired by the intelligence service of Israel, and concretely by the Ministry of Information of Israel, in order to work for them, as an agent, and to be paid somehow, because he's really someone who loves money, Reza Pahlavi. So from that moment, we can see that the Zionist network that was not really interested in Reza Pahlavi before, can you imagine, for 42, 3 years. Not really. He was a clone, considered as a moron by Israelis. But suddenly, effectively, by the collaboration of some people around him, the Baha'i, those who are from this religion, or the Jews who are controlling the life and the wealth. Don't forget that the Pahlavi family had stolen billions from Iran, and the management of their wealth is in the hands of Israelis. So they tried effectively to make Reza Pahlavi presentable and to sell them to Israelis. And it had been done, and in 2022 he had been somehow bought by the Israeli information agency or the famous Mossad. From that moment, this Zionist network started effectively to put forward Reza Pahlavi, the most incompetent person on the planet, as someone who can change, the fate of a country that is as big as three countries together, like France, Germany, and United Kingdom, that is called Iran, right? With a huge complexity of management for the economy, for the multiculturalism, multi-ethnicity, and everything. So this moron is supposed to be able to manage everything. The guy was not able to manage 4 or 5 people of his family. 2 of his siblings made suicide, effectively killed themselves by suicide. Why? Because he was not able, as the oldest one, to handle his brother and sister. And now Israel is telling us that he would be able to effectively take care of that country that is completely destroyed, with more than 90 million population plus 10 million immigrants over there. Now, so they are hammering effectively and practically every hour the fact that Reza Pahlavi is wanted by the Iranian nation, by the Iranian people. He is desired by any Iranian inside, and you have no imagination about how popular he is. This is what this dirty Zionist network of propaganda is doing. In this network, you find the media like this one, the famous Iran International, created by Israel. It's based in Tel Aviv. And this is the media who gathered a lot of information to pass it to Shin Bet, to Mossad, to the Israeli army during the 12 days war, so that they can effectively target what is necessary. It's a kind of, we can say, a trap for the Iranian who are very interested in the media, news, and so on, so that they can influence the public opinion. Working now with millions and millions of dollars of budget, without having 1 second of advertisement or something provided effectively by Israeli army, in order to have a huge impact on the Iranian society, because it's known as the most watched, the most viewed media. They don't know if it's true, at least they pretend that. Another one, there are several network like this one, for example, Manoto. Another one managed by Israelis and Baha'is who are complicit of Israel, and they finance effectively this kind of network. They have several other TV channels based in Los Angeles, in America, and several Telegram channel, that they are using in order to, send the message that are designed by Mossad toward the Iranian people. So what they are saying that Reza Pahlavi is really excellent, he's famous, he's genius, and he's wanted by, he's desired, he's claimed by Iranians, millions and millions of Iranians. For example, tonight, it was a call from Reza Pahlavi for the people to come effectively to the streets, and in the biggest city in Iran, which is the capital, Tehran, with something like 15 million people, we saw effectively, let's say 3, 4, 5,000 people. Okay, for 15 million, this call for action had been heard by this number of people. So we cannot deny that a few people, were there to say Pahlavi. So this is undeniable. But Now let's talk about the reason for which Israel wants to use effectively this guy, Reza Pahlavi. Why they want to, invest on this guy and make the propaganda for him in such a way that he can become the favorite of the Iranian people. Don't forget that Israel has a very interesting and serious historic experience, regarding the Iranian people and its manipulation. Don't forget that in 1979 they could effectively, with a little radio station, Israel radio, they could, with the complicity of BBC from the United Kingdom, Freemasonry, and Zionism, hand to hand, they could practically sell to the Iranian people a guy who was called, him, Khomeini, right? Khomeini as the Grand Ayatollah, as the leader of the Shiite, of the whole world. But don't forget, Khomeini, if you look into some serious sources, you will find that this guy was linked to Mossad. This guy was linked to Israel. Israel promoted him so that he can come, install in the power and start effectively the destruction of the Middle East on behalf of Israel. And this is what Khomeini and the other governments after him did in Iran, one after another. They destroyed the Iranian nation, the Iranian country, we can say, and the whole Middle East for the sake of the Israelis' interest. They did that. Khomeini did that. And the other people who succeeded effectively him started to do exactly the same thing till now, up to now. So Reza Pahlavi is now a very good functional person, if I can say. I am talking about a kind of utilitarian approach of Israel regarding this person. He's a very good agent now in order to be used for one thing, so that the Iranian social movement right now cannot really be successful in kind of replacement of the Israeli-built, Israeli-created regime, the Islamic regime, the current regime, with let's say nationalist government, with a real nationalist government, a government that wants to take care of the Iranian national interest. Israel doesn't want that. The idea of finding an alternative for the Iranian current regime, a corrupted, impotent, and overused regime, by a new one that represents the real Iranian national interest. That's a nightmare for Israel. So that's why it calls this guy to come in and to start effectively to play his role, so that such a thing cannot happen. So as you can see, the idea of promoting Reza Pahlavi for Israel and by Israel is just to thwart, just to, let's say, hinder, to obstruct the way for the Iranian, let's say, nationalist or Iranian social movement right now. A movement caused by hunger, by starving people, the people who are almost dying because of the lowest value of the national currency in the history. So they want bread, they want life, they want food, they want shelter, they want job. And suddenly this guy comes in and says that no, it's not for that, it's not for bread, it's not for necessities, it's for something else. It's because we want to be free in order to put an end to anything that is against Israel, that is against United States, it's against this and that, the nonsensical thing that he doesn't even understand. But his charge, his mission is talk about that. And don't forget that in 2022, he made a kind of tour, a trip here and there, and everywhere he was promoting the idea that if we get to the power, we will be able to offer a very good contract, economic contract, business contract to Israeli companies. First of all, but before anything, to Israeli companies. Of course, he was hired. He was hired by Israel. He was paid by Israel. Of course, he had to talk about that. Now, why Israel wants effectively to prevent Iranians to have a national or nationalist government? Why? Because if they wanted to have such a government, of course, the regime of Shah, the father of this guy, was the symbol, more or less, the symbol of such a government that wanted effectively to use the different natural resources of Iran for the development of Iran. And this is what Israel didn't want. That's why they made anything that was necessary to overthrow the regime of Shah. And now, if you want to imagine that they want to bring this guy in order to create another nationalist or I don't know, let's say national interest oriented government, it's completely lunatic to think about that. No, the objective is one thing. Preventing Iranian to get to something positive till Israel can convince completely the American government to be ready for attacking on Iran in the coming days or weeks in a way that they can practically destroy the whole country. So the objective is not Reza Pahlavi, is not a matter of this guy or another guy or whatever change of regime change, or no, it's just to have enough time to get all the military preparation done, and once they are effectively ready, I am talking about a plan short term, to attack Iran, and I am pretty sure that this time, if there is an exchange of fire, Israel is going to use the nuclear bomb against Iran, and in this way get rid of this country forever. This is what Israel wants. So that's why I invite you to be attentive about two things. On the one hand, the discourse that is presented by the Zionist propaganda machine, talking about the Iranian people are calling for, Reza Pahlavi or the things like that, nonsense. And on the other hand, the reality of what is going on behind the scene. Behind the scene is the preparation of anything by Israel and the United States, militarily speaking, to attack Iran. If you see, for example, the news today or yesterday, according to which the Lebanese army is getting Hezbollah disarmed, Israel knows that if it wants to attack Iran completely and fundamentally, it needs to be protected from the proxies of Iran around, right? So that's why Hezbollah is getting disarmed. The Palestinians are completely now more or less destroyed. Syria is in the hands of an Israeli government's agent. So everything is fine. There is no more imminent threat coming from the proxies of Iran. So that's why today, when foreign minister of Iranian government arrived in Lebanon, there was none of the official figures of the Lebanese government to welcome him, which means that the foothold of Iran in Lebanon is over, is finished. And Hezbollah very soon will be either completely disarmed or somehow integrated into the Lebanese or national Lebanese army. So that's why everything is getting ready to this big, great attack against Iran. And meanwhile, this uprising of the Iranian people is something that Israel doesn't want at all. So that's why the mission of this guy is nothing but just spreading dispersion, disagreement, chaos within the movement among the Iranians, because maybe 1% of society wants him, but don't forget that 99% see him as a clone, as a mercenary, as someone who proved effectively that he is the least competent person for governing Iran or something like that. So by distinguishing this Zionist propaganda from the reality, we can have a better idea about this. I know that some points in my presentation could hurt the stereotyped beliefs of many people regarding the Iranian regime that was presented as an anti-Zionist, anti-Israeli government. But guys, it's not true. If it was true, we were not there after 47 years of life of that regime, of the Iranian regime. Israel was a little isolated country in 1979, and thanks to the Iranian regime after the revolution, Israel became now the superpower of the region. It's not only by the support of Israel, the United States, but by everything Iran did effectively for the greater Israel, sending $2 to $3 trillion of the Iranian people's wealth, money and everything toward Tel Aviv on the one hand, and completely dismantling and destroying the different state nations of the Middle East on the other hand. Let me show you the interview of President Trump with someone when he's asking if effectively President Trump wants to meet with Reza Pahlavi. Listen to what President Trump is saying.
Would you meet with Crown Prince Pahlavi, who is the heir to the constitutional monarchy? He doesn't want to rule. He would be a symbolic ruler like King Charles.
Well, I've watched him, and he seems like a nice person, but I'm not sure that it would be appropriate at this point to do that as president. I think that we should let everybody go out there and we see who emerges. I'm not sure necessarily that it would be an appropriate thing to do.
Would you meet?
So, as you can see, Trump and his team are completely aware about the Israeli character of Reza Pahlavi and Israeli plan behind Reza Pahlavi. So that's why they are thinking that if the plan of Israel for Iran, which is the destruction and disintegration of Iran, don't forget that this is what Israel prepared for years. The different groups, the mercenary groups, are inside and also in the neighbor countries, ready to intervene, and trigger a civil war in Iran in such a way that disintegration turns into a reality, very soon once the civil war is started. So that's why the Americans are more or less aware about the nastiness of the Israeli plan for the whole Middle East. But when we are talking about Iran, don't forget that is not Syria, is not Lebanon, is not a small country. It's the biggest country of the Middle East, and the disintegration of Iran means this disintegration of the Central Asia, part of the East Asia even, and the whole Persian Gulf. So that's why this chaos is something that I don't think Washington wants really right now, and that's why there is a disagreement between Trump and Netanyahu, unless again the miracle of the file Epstein can resolve all this disagreement in such a way that Americans start to be aligned with the strategy of Israel regarding Iran. We will see. But in short, don't forget that the news as they are coming will represent something that we need to check, right? We need really to check, to go into the details in a way that we can see if it's a manipulation, because Iran International and other components of the Zionist network are manipulating the image, the sound. They try to present the fake sounds over. They are doubling, the videos in a way that the people believe that everybody is calling for this Zionist agent Reza Pahlavi, but it's not the case. So be aware about that. Be very attentive about what is going on, and I am trying to make more video in this sense explaining what is going on. Thank you very much for watching this video.